we're going to be inevitably replaced by the mechanical loom. The conventional wisdom has been that there is a so-called Luddite fallacy. That is that the fear that automation will replace jobs is belied by the accumulated evidence that new technologies almost always produce many more new jobs than the ones that they replace. What's new about Earth Inc. Is that combination of outsourcing and robo-sourcing has now begun to replace jobs that not only put machines and robots and intelligent software in the position of replacing physical labor, but also replacing the cognitive abilities of human beings. You think about driverless cars, for example. I guess that's a good thing. I'm not opposed to it. But when you use that as an example of all the many occupations that are now vulnerable to displacement by intelligent machines and connected software. And what we're seeing around the world with Earth is a hollowing out of middle-class employment. This also has implications for the economic policies that countries use, because since the dawn of mass production, we have seen in most countries a consumer demand economy. Henry Ford famously raised his employees' wages, saying, in what may be an apocryphal story, but what he is quoted as saying is, I want them to make enough money to buy the cars that they build. And that has become kind of a symbol of the consumer demand economy. When middle-class jobs command wages that put purchasing power in the hands of the vast majority of people, they go to the stores and buy the products, and the stores order more from the factories, and it is a self-reinforcing cycle. If robo-sourcing and outsourcing together displace enough of those middle-income job opportunities, then what you see along with the hollowing out of the middle class is a decline in purchasing power. You also see some other macroeconomic effects, because it used to be that improving productivity would also lead to more jobs. But now, with what some economists refer to as technology capital, the percentage of the profits and the benefits of the productive process that go to those providing the capital has increased relative to the amount that goes to the employees. And so you get that as a factor that contributes to rising income inequality and net worth inequality. And here, in discussing inequality, I don't want you to hear me like a radical. I'm definitely not. But when you look at what's happened in the United States, for example, since the beginning of the recovery from the Great Recession, 95% of all the additional national income in the U.S. Since 2009 has indeed gone to the wealthiest 1%. Now, that's not an Occupy Wall Street slogan. That is a demonstrable fact, and it's not controversial. Nobody challenges that. And when you get a very large proportion of national income going in a concentrated way to the very tip top of the income ladder, that also becomes a factor in suppressing the purchasing power of middle-income wage earners. And that, in turn, has a macroeconomic impact. Now, inequality is a necessary condition for capitalism and is, of course, not something to struggle against, in my opinion. However, like inflation, You're always going to have some inflation, if we want to avoid deflation like Japan. But you're always going to have some inflation. But if you get hyperinflation, then everything changes. I'm using this as an analogy because inequality is the same way. We'll always have inequality and always should have some inequality. But if we get hyper inequality, then that becomes a threat to the best interests of both capitalism and democracy. And we're not there yet. But I think these trends are ones that have accompanied the Earthing.